I'm Renata Salecl. I'm philosopher and sociologist from Slovenia, and I came here for 5 weeks in the residency of Malba. I am writing a new book on apathy in today's society, and it is very interesting for me to analyze current situation here in Argentina, because I want to compare what is happening in a social crisis that has been happening here for quite some time, and compare it to the type of crisis we are experiencing in Europe and elsewhere. We are observing more and more people switching off, not wanting to follow the news or feel overwhelmed by all the catastrophes that are happening around the world. We have war in Ukraine at our footstep, and we are also dealing at the moment in Europe with terrible ecological crisis. The summer was full of floods and extreme heat. At the same time, we are also experiencing an increase of inequality. So I want to analyze the psychological mechanisms which are behind new types of apathy. Among some young people, we are observing quite an increase of depression and also sometimes unwillingness to participate in the political, let's say, sphere, even, let's say, going voting, or, kind of closing themselves in a bubble. I also want to analyze, what is happening with more and more of a turn into kind of a society which is sort of becoming authoritarian or very populist, and I want to see the mechanisms that are at work here in Argentina, but also elsewhere in the world. My publisher here, Godot, is keen to publish this work on apathy, and at the same time I'm finishing a book which already came out in Slovenian. It is called The Time of Rudeness, and it is about kind of a change in communication between people. Sometimes we observe not only an increase of violence, but also kind of increase of impoliteness or a certain kind of lack of restraint when people are communicating online, for example. And that will also be some of the research that I will be doing, sort of kind of apathy and the change in intersubjective relationships that we observe today. In my last book on the virus, I already looked at how a pandemic changed us as people and how it changed society as such. But I think that some changes are happening more globally, because we are still living with the promise of, neoliberal ideology that everyone can make it in society. We just need to be more entrepreneurial or, making better choices. Already 10 years ago, I studied Tyranny of Choice, which was published here too. And this kind of an idea that you are responsible for everything that is happening in your life. And as a result, you quite often feel guilty. You feel that you are inadequate, or that you didn't do enough, didn't make enough, good choices. All this is still continuing, and I think it is contributing to the type of apathy that we are experiencing today.